Hey everyone, this is Dan from Random Media Guys. Welcome to the first live stream on our new Random Media live stream channel where we do streams for our stuff, and we'll probably be chopping them up and putting them into videos later.
And I'm Chris, on the live stream, our new live stream for Random Media Guys.
Yeah, so those of you watching, I was doing it largely on my personal channel, but I decided we needed to create a dedicated channel for
Oh
it,
yeah,
so we did.
ready to fuck shit up.
Yeah, it's much easier to fuck shit up on my own channel.
How's your own channel going?
Uh, it was not. Eh.
Dude, what's up with the room in the back?
Again, I just my folks are getting ready to go to Hawaii,
Really? Where in Hawaii are they going to?
Oahu.
Was it they're like vacation time or
Yep, yeah,
that's
vacation.
why aren't they taking you guys?
Because I have work, and so does everyone else in my family.
They're going to Oahu.
Yeah, my dad's also got vacation hours to burn, so
Like Waikiki and
uh, Hon-
Oahu?
Honolulu.
Honolulu, the capital. I've been there. It's a great city. You
Yeah,
can you can take a bus all around the island, and then there's nice nightlife in the main city there in Waikiki.
my folks in their 50s, so I don't know.
They just where are they staying at the beach?
Hilton.
Oh, nice. And then what are they leaving you at the house there?
Me and the siblings.
You, the siblings, and the stolen shit behind you. So, you,
So, for those who are
so wait,
watching,
how long you guys? How long do you have the kids for?
Sunday morning to Thursday evening.
Dude, we got a party over there.
Yeah.
Hey, want to come over there and we'll have like bring some beer.
That might not be a bad idea.
We'll have a boozer.
Do it on Wednesday. That way we can do a pre-Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm kind of into. I'm trying to get into different. I love different beers, and I kind of want to get more educated on different, beer.
You want to get into beer culture.
Yeah, there's like you have the wine. I've never been into wine. I just don't have the taste for it. But beer is like interesting,
Well, yeah. Here's an interesting thing: is
and what you can brew it with and whatnot.
yeah. There's a guy called Wizard of Cause. He apparently runs a beer shop.
Nice.
And
Wizard of Oz.
no, Wizard of Cause.
Wizard of Cause.
He does.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna get some mead right now.
That's a mead. You're a freaking
What's
Viking.
No, I have mead. I really like mead. Have you had mead?
No, I have not. Yeah,
I have kombucha beer. I found something called kombucha beer.
Bring it to the camera and show everyone.
All right. Yeah, there's this other unique beer. It's kombucha beer. Kombucha is it's kind of like a probiotic. It's like
it's a fungus, right? That's so the camera. You just like making a beer.
This is really.
That would be a fun.
Mead is honey and wine, so I can't say entirely rule wine out of what I like. The mead here is this is called Necromagicon.
Wow.
It's mango mead with black pepper added.
You should have student. I think this.
It's got like a demon on the front.
Dude, what if each?
It's got Hillary Clinton on the front. And then they have this is kombucha beer. It's ginger. It's hops and kombucha.
Get off my computer.
It's not your computer.
Get out of my office.
I'm using.
I don't give a shit.
1 second.
You want to go down? We'll do a podcast from the living room and see how that goes down.
Okay. I will make it up to you. I'm off.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
I'm broadcasting.
No, you won't, Lucy.
What do you want from me tomorrow?
You understand I'm locking this office the whole week when I leave.
Fine.
I'm really pissed off at you right now.
I have a question. He's pissed.
What'd you do?
And apparently he's mad because stuff. personal stuff.
What'd you do? Did you burn the house down?
No, it's not that bad.
I'm sorry, man.
Nah, anyway. So I was thinking that maybe we could do like you seemed a lot of interesting beers. What if we did? What if we started a beer review segment?
A beer review segment. I
We
think
could
that'd be pretty good.
maybe bring it on
I'm
the other
trying
show.
some different beers. I've got. I've kind of been a big fan of the ciders recently, but I'm really in. I kind of like this. I've gotten into this white Icelandic ale. It's brewed with orange peels.
I've had IPA, which is apparently the pale Indian ale.
Yeah, I got to study, more up on all that. I've had so many beers over the years, but and I have it. I've liked different tastes, but I want to study up, like on more of like what they're brewing, how you kind of make this stuff. Where's the ingenuity to it all?
They say beer was actually been the key to founding civilization because beer, you could you when you have grains, they ferment, so you want to get the best kind of grains.
That's true. That's
I
true.
actually heard that the porter and the what was it called, the stout were invented purely by chance because they were doing pale ales.
Getting some kombucha.
This doesn't mean the whole stream. You freaking beer.
No, I'm not. I'm not drinking the kam. I had a little bit of my mead tonight. I'm having kombucha right now. This is just a. You know what kombucha is?
It's fungus. It's
Yeah, really good for you. Full of vitamins and not high on sugar, no fat.
I've
It's a
tried
great
it.
drink. Far better alternative to soda if you're looking for like kind of a nice, kind of good tasting drink, but generally healthy. I highly recommend kombucha. Highly.
The Chris drink hour.
The Chris drink hour. Yes, this is a Chris drink hour, and the next hour I'm gonna get a Diet Coke. No, I'm not. I just put this back. Maybe a little bit more. So, what were you watching recently on whose channel, and who was bitching about what, and how much?
I'll explain that one in a minute. I've been checking out stuff on the web for. Well, I was actually watching Philip DeFranco's channel, and apparently Lacey Green lost her shit and started attacking anybody who had videos with her in the thumbnail, as she's one to do. Because
I heard? Okay, you know who else lost her shit? Hillary Clinton after the election. Did you hear that story?
Oh, I heard about that one.
I don't know how true it is. I mean, it sounds like something. I guess she attacked Podesta.
Really? Yeah, I heard about that.
She attacked him.
Well, she said that she lost the election because of him.
That, and she blamed Barack Obama, the Russians, and everybody but herself. Even Mickey Mouse got blamed, and Al Bundy somehow Al Bundy was thrown in the list of people to blame.
I don't know.
It's a picture of it's like Al saying it's like Donald Trump won Al, and Al's just like this.
And
yes,
and
no, ma'am.
And you see freaking Tinica's all going, Al.
Yes, if Al Bundy was around today, he'd be totally for Trump. Oh, yeah. And then Peggy would be like, probably for Trump too. I don't know.
What's interesting is people keep calling it like the Trump regime or the Trumpocracy or the Trump. What was the fun one? What was the one I heard?
The Trumpocracy.
Oh, the Trumpopolis.
Trump apocalypse. Yes. Yeah, it seems to shaken up everybody. There's been a bunch of protests.
There literally was I'm not joking. There's a hashtag. There's a line on they were saying literally shaking. So people have been calling it the shakening.
It is the shakening. You have a bunch of people protesting. I can't take any of them seriously.
Oh yeah.
I mean, number one, I mean, they're protesting An
Democratic
election.
system.
Okay, technically, I mean, it's not fully Democrat. I mean, we don't have a popular vote. I can
Right.
get into actually why that is and why I've come to the conclusion that's actually good.
Well, yeah, of course, they did it on purpose. The funny part is because they realized people aren't vested. I mean, it's division. It's another form of division of labor. People are focused on doing their everyday jobs as opposed to focusing on the issues. See the smaller state,
Correct.
like
So you would just be campaigning in every single populated area. You would completely ignore the outside of the or the middle of the country, which could result in all kinds of environmental problems and resource problems.
right, and the
I
big
mean,
thing
like,
is
okay, like farmland, for instance, is established in unpopulated areas. So politicians would say, well, fuck them. You have this whole pipeline problem going on right now in the Dakotas. If you had a popular vote, they just say, fuck them. Doesn't matter.
right, and
Whether it's bad or not, it won't matter to them.
right, and another big thing is that populist democracies work best in smaller areas.
Yes. Yeah.
They've proven this. That's why it works good in city councils. Why you can elect your mayors directly.
Right. Right.
Because
yeah. LA, yes. Obviously an election for mayor is all popular. And yeah, if like California was its own country, then yes, we can have a popular vote and it's completely fine because we're just one giant generally one giant area. One thing they could change, one thing people, if they want to shake shit up, they could change that the electoral vote isn't a winner take all.
Right.
That for your vote to count or to even make third parties actual contesters. If you had not a winner take all, that everyone divided the electoral points, the electoral votes, essentially, of the electoral college, if they were divided by what you won. So it's like Hillary wins 50% of California, Donald wins 50, then you would divide it half.
Maybe Donald wins 50. Maybe Donald wins
36. So maybe he gets like 10 points or something. So someone's vote counts because it's like, I mean, he didn't win California. It was 62 to 30%.
Yeah.
So,
and then you had,
but it's like those are millions of votes that totally go to waste. That mean absolutely nothing. Same thing in Texas. Like Hillary won maybe 40% of the state, and it's like all her votes go to complete waste.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is a big thing. They were left still left out because of the electrical.
Yeah, it's like number one, the protesters and the Democrats right now. How do you have the balls to bitch about that when your own party has something called super delegates in their primary?
Super delegates.
How do you have the balls? I mean, I was in an argument with a friend on Facebook, okay, who's saying, "Oh, the protesters do care." I'm like, really? I can't really assume that. Obviously, they didn't bring up the issue of the popular vote before the election. They just got mad that she didn't win that game after the election. Okay, your complaints would be a little bit more legitimate if it was all through the election. This was a campaign issue. It wasn't. It was only brought up because you lost. Okay, you're just pissed off that you lost the game. Okay.
And they're pissed off that the media who was telling him one thing turned out to be corrupted. So
yeah, it's like, dude, fix your party, try again in 4 years, pick someone who's not outright stupid, kick the SJWs out, bring back some Kennedy Democrats.
I think honestly, SJWs are going through their death throes now because there's a lot of people see the beast for what it is now.
Right, I definitely see that, and a lot of friends of mine who are on the left really are disturbed by it, like people saying like, "Oh, fuck all white men." Like Lacey Green's post actually got some really way left-wing people I know disturbed. Like when she said like, "Oh, fuck you, white America, fuck you," I'm like, no.
I gotta wonder if anybody flagged her tweet as hateful towards a group, because you literally could put it in there as she's being.
No, you're right, and they should if they're equal, but they're not going to go down that road. They're totally gonna.
I might do it. It just isn't.
Flagger. They flagged all of our shit.
They flagged Milo Yiannopoulos into oblivion.
Did they really?
There are a couple YouTube channels that got taken down because people went on started flagging them.
Yeah, there was a Yahoo article today that yet again totally BS the interview they had with him. They're like, Milo Yiannopoulos falls apart under questioning. I'm like, okay. I click on the article. Never ever read the headline of an article. Always read it. It's usually completely taken out of context, the headline. I read it, and he's just arguing about gender wage gaps. It's like, see, Milo doesn't know facts. So it has been researched that women make less than men. I'm like, but no, it's been researched, but they didn't include the factors why that is.
I forget who it was. The one was had a guy on who what's his name? But he basically did. There is an actual gap, but it's so much smaller, and there's if you were to take an honest wage between people of the same job, at most there's like a 92%. There's a 92-cent difference, and that's not kicking it. And only a small percent of that is caused by sexism. A lot of that is either not asking for enough, asking for the same wage, or
there is no, like he said, there is no gender wage gap when you consider the factors.
There's a gender earnings gap. There's
gender earnings gap, but there's reasons why there's a gap.
And the reason why that even the gap is so much smaller than they like to claim. It's only 92%, taking into account.
But there's no you have two people doing the same exact thing getting less pay. And I mean same exact thing. They have never found a case where a female and a male at the same company with the same job, putting in the same hours, they negotiate the same salary, that they earn less. That's all impossible when you lock those things in.
Right, and the reason why.
So there is, when you take that into consideration, there is no wage gap, like Milo said.
Yeah. Now the gap. There are gaps that appear from other things, like say you have all that stuff down, but let's say there's another factor. Let's say the guy happens to bring forth a skill, or he shows that he has a technique, and they're willing to pay you more if you can help save them money or make them more money. So they're willing.
Right. So again, you're now adding in more factors. That's interesting. But taking into consideration all those things, if someone's doing all those things, if they're paying somebody less, if someone got all those things, then the woman would get the job.
Now sometimes you have guys who are. I've heard this. Sometimes you do have bosses who are assholes, who will prevent you from getting that promotion, or
that happens to men though too. So that's not necessarily a gender slant.
I wasn't saying that. I was saying that is a problem, and I'm saying that some of these women may be suffering from just and they may just be suffering from assholes.
Right. They're suffering not from necessarily sexist. They're suffering from an asshole that has a pattern with acting out against a whole bunch of employees.
It's a narcissism. It might be narcissism, or it might middle management syndrome.
Yeah, there's a ton of bosses. It's happened to me. It's happened to my dad. Happened to other people I know. We've all known asshole bosses that want to save their own asses. They only want certain employees around them. It's all political. It happens. It's stupid.
It's narcissism on a basic level.
Yeah, there's so many factors. It's more like we should take care of assholes in the workplace, not so much talk about, is there this thing like that you have this problem. I'm sure there's sexist guys.
Of course.
Do we know where is it like rampant? Probably not.
And also there's sexist women. I've actually run into known bosses who hate. Like if you're a guy, they'll try to put you in your place. What movie was it? Wanted. There's that scene where James McAvoy's character has that boss who's just an utter bitch. Who just wants she does it as a means to put him down because it makes her feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And there
Oh,
are
you're right.
bosses like that who are parasitic in nature. They basically love leeching a off employees because it makes them feel better.
Yep. That's a common issue. Yeah, anyways, Milo was taken out of context by yet again another
Quote
report.
miners.
And what is it? There's this new thing. What is it? I don't know what's going on anymore. The whole thing is melting down. I've told people to kind of calm down because I said, hey, in a year from now, if Donald Trump's administration's falling apart, throw in all your criticism and your bitching.
Yeah, of course.
If you do it now and
You're like an asshole.
you're really gambling hard here. Okay, you're the guy in the casino throwing all his money down, and all of us are looking at you saying, you might lose. This is a losing game here. You know, there's a chance you're going to be disappointed. Do you really want to do this? But the funny thing is they're just throwing it all in now. It's like the media is really setting themselves to be burned down later. If it doesn't work, if they were humble right now and they kept that going, then they would look better. But now it's like they're like taking this low ground. I don't get it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I actually I found a video speaking of which I'm gonna I found a great video by God Sod. For those who may not know, he's a
God's sodomy. God's sodomy and Sargon of cock.
of a cock.
God's sodomy and Sargon of cock. And
Yeah.
and then the amazing penis.
Well, I hope he doesn't mind because I got in trouble with we got in trouble with College Humor as doing the beer thing, but he's a professor and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind. I'm gonna give him credit in the video, let him know that this was his video, and because he deserves credit because he's freaking brilliant. But he did this great video about how a lot of SJWs seem to have Munchausen syndrome. I'm gonna share this with you on
Munchausen syndrome.
Munchausen syndrome is where you fake an injury or an ailment to get sympathy. The other one is Munchausen by proxy, which is where you protect someone who is ill, or you help keep them ill so that you get white knight points. So I actually asked him a question, Mike. Do you think that's possible? So many people are we might be suffering from both. I mean, I'm oppressed, but I'm also protecting the oppressed. Almost like a I don't know, like the leader of an urchin gang, who looks out. I don't have a lot, but I'm protecting them, kind of thing. Here,
Interesting.
I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna share the video full screen, and here you go. Hear it?
Can't hear him at all. Interesting. Yeah, he's talking about a common issue,
Yeah.
Munchausen syndrome. Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day,
Yeah.
and they were saying like, "Oh, I think I'm going to be like killed now with this new administration."
That's Munchausen, essentially. They're basically feigning an injury.
It was this. She was saying like, "Oh, I'm Jewish, and I think Trump's going to like kill me."
Really?
I said, "Yeah," I said, "That's just."
Not happening.
Well, she's like, well, I think she's saying, because had uh, he had appointed Steve Bannon,
Oh, yeah.
and they're all on the Steve Bannon thing, and they're all calling him an
I
anti-Semite.
actually figured out, I finally figured out what it was.
It is extremely.
It was
When I
quote marking.
researched him, the only thing that has come up regarding that really is in some deposition or
Yeah, I
something.
heard
His
about this.
ex-wife said, "Oh, he
I,
didn't want their daughters to go to a Jewish school
no,
because
no,
he
no,
said
no, no. I know
Jews raise
exactly.
spoiled
No,
brats."
no, I know exactly. Yeah. Because he said he didn't want to. And I think what he was hitting at was not the fact they were Jewish. And God, there was a video, they did a live stream with God, Sod, and started on the cover this. You've heard, there's what they call it as a JAP, a Japanese, that's not Japanese, sorry, Jewish
Jewish American princess. Yes, I mean,
That's what he's talking about. He said he didn't
he
want.
may not like Jewish culture, and I don't give a fuck.
That doesn't mean
Personally, some people don't like evangelical culture.
I
I
don't
mean,
really.
there's a million Jewish parents and people who have said, I don't want to go over there to a bunch of, shit kicking, Bible thumping, evangelicals. I'm like, okay, that's different. I think there's this insidious notion that like everyone has to accept,
The same culture.
a culture. I'm like, no, that's not true, or else you should get in my car with me right now and I'll drive you to South Central Los Angeles. If you should prefer any culture that I demand, that's incredibly stupid. Um, uh, he's not saying like, oh, all Jews should go die. I don't know. I mean, he didn't say that. I mean, that's the thing is like, that's not like the worst thing. Like anyone could say, he's not saying, oh, I want like all Jews to go burn or something. He's saying like, I don't want my daughters to go to a Jewish school. And it's his ex-wife. I don't even know if he says that's true. I don't even know. I just thought that was stupid how you automatically assume this guy is some kind of cold-blooded Nazi because he made a comment like that.
And I've seen the messed up thing.
Which
There we go. I fixed the thing. All right, yes.
So that's Munchausen syndrome, is when someone is making a victim out of themselves.
Yes, I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna give you the thing. It is actually quite interesting. So,
I mean, I've seen conservatives do this too.
yeah, I think everyone.
I've seen my fair share. I've been in my fair share of arguments with conservatives that also. It seems Munchausen syndrome is actually what he's describing here is quite common,
Well,
especially amongst people obsessed with political identity.
yeah, because if you claim a victimhood, it means people. Well, it's a way of shutting down your opponent's narrative. You're kind of out of frame in your thing.
I guess it's like it's like saying I'm the victim, we're screwed.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue sharing that. That's
Sargon of cock.
Coconuts.
There's a new show on Netflix about Rome.
Does it involve cock and ass?
No, it's like talking about what is it, Marcus Aurelius in his last days,
I think I heard about
and
that.
his son Commodus.
I want to check that out. All right, so I'm gonna continue playing this. The women are afraid that Trump's gonna kill. They're gonna be like Nazis running around grabbing their pussies.
Yeah, they're just kidding, right? They don't really believe that.
Some of them, I think, really do. They're that kind. They convince
I
them.
mean, you can make the same. What's funny is you can kind of see that. That's the thing. Wherever you go with Trump, you can go with Clinton. So the alternative would be, oh, if Hillary won, was Bill going to come around and rape you?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, here's something that you might be interested in. All right, so moonshine. They talk about moonshine being the kind of the root cause of the way why people think the way they do. I actually want to see. That's kind of the reason why the thing, but you don't typically do that unless you know there's something you do. And I think a lot of people convince themselves of this. I almost look at least SJWs as kind of a widely accepted conspiracy theory, and I mean, and by that I mean that they've all
Yes.
convinced themselves
Yeah.
of this theory, and
And they have like the safety pin thing movement going and everything. I know. And what God saw just described there, it's absolutely amazing because the person I was talking to, it describes it to a T. How they're like, oh, Trump hired Steve Bannon. We're all going to be killed and put in concentration camps. I'm like, here's two things that come to mind. So you're the people talking about how like guns have to be outlawed for years, and now you're afraid of like Trump and his like army of demons coming to get you.
but you're allowed all guns.
Yeah, it's like these people were the same people like whining that like only the government needs guns, only the government needs, high capacity magazine assault rifles. Oh shit, Trump and his demons are coming. It's like some fucking war out of Middle Earth now
Now
with
it's
Trump,
now they wish they have their high capacity magazines.
Yeah, the left wing needs to stop. They're looking embarrassing. They're like the goofy person to right now. They're kind of like the extremist right wing that came out during like Obama's first year, and like it's just looking embarrassing at this point.
Hmm.
I mean, they've been embarrassing by nominating Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, on top of that, running a horrible campaign. Plus, now all these people reacting the way they are after the campaign just adds to the sort of clown car they're creating.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, I'm actually looking at because God talked about the fact that these people have collective moonshines, and I'm trying to figure out maybe there's another. You know how people can suffer from multiple afflictions. You can like have gout and diabetes, or have Alzheimer's, maybe be born with autism. I'm actually trying to figure. I wonder what is there a. I'm almost thinking that so many people have a mix because I'm not sure they never quite explain what neurological condition is very common among um, conspiracy theorists. What you could see, but I'm almost thinking that you have a what's it called some of it's definitely it seems to be a parent like a parent either paranoid schizophrenia mixed with like a narcissist like a mass narcissistic um, personality disorder because plus
Now they're suffering from mental illness. Now all these psychologists are coming out and having. Well, you're right. Something's wrong. I think it's partisanship too. It's really part.
that's been the whole story.
It's a large. It's a people have turned the political system into a religion, effectively.
Of course.
It's a cult.
Here's my thing: a lot of them people are, for lack of a better term, they're atheists. A lot of them just either didn't grow up or they rebelled against their parent religion. And
That's not a healthy atheism. I'll
right,
get into that. You should become an atheist by reason. People who say I'm an atheist just because, oh, I went to a church and they are mean to me, that's what I call troubling motive. That's a very troubling motive to be an atheist.
well, here's what I learned is this, and this is because of my own experience as an atheist. I went, I noticed as an atheist, you go through what I call the. Oh, especially if it's something you suddenly kind of realize you are, or at least during your transition out, because I know this is kind of when I transition out because I don't like contradictions. So I became a very guess a firebrand, or I kind of call it a raw, like almost like a sunburned atheist. Like the fact that your skin, you know how when you get sunburned, you're very sensitive to the touch, and you get angry if anybody like touches you. Your
Uh-huh.
skin sensitive. So I, for a couple years, was like, because even before I left, I when I'd see all this stuff, I'm like, aha, this is bullshit. You know, I think kind of, and I realized after I left for about a year, I was like this. I've kind of used to get mad, like oh God bless. I'm like, God, it's bullshit. I get that kind of angry, but I realized that you can kind of get over it. The problem is, I think a lot of people are didn't leave and didn't finally get through that stage, and many of them are children and adult
Yeah, they have a
bodies.
baby. You're right. They're children in adult bodies. They're immature. They haven't worked out their grievances.
Many of them probably have never actually worked. I mean, other than what they do, I mean, I think a lot of them are like people. A lot of the protesters seem to be like people who are like their mom and
Boy.
dad pay for them to go to college.
Yeah, we don't know. There is some facts we found. Some of these people are paid by organizations to be there.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, WikiLeaks exposed that Clinton was paying homeless people to go to Trump rallies, pose as Sanders supporters, and provoke violence.
oh wow, that explains a lot. You know, it'd be interesting if you could finally like,
How do you not go to jail for that?
you know, I'd love to do is
How do you not get investigated? I mean, that is so fucking illegal. You can't do that.
I
I mean,
would love.
technically, that's number one assault. If did any of those people hit the supporters, threaten them, then that's assault. She's complicit in assault.
Right, of course.
I mean, she's paying people homeless. I don't think number one, a big issue is no one read WikiLeaks. I don't think a lot of her hardcore supporters read WikiLeaks. They just wrote it off like, oh, that's
Assange being crazy.
like, no, he hacked real shit. Okay, and Hillary Clinton never said it was fake. She probably should have. She probably just said, "Oh, they made it up," but she
It's not
called
real.
it. She said no. She said stolen emails. Okay, so let's see what these stolen emails are. And she's paying homeless people to go fucking beat up, to go provoke violence.
You know, it'd be great. This would be like the perfect time to go expose some of the bullshit among like the big social justice figures. I think I love it because
Oh, they're going to be coming down. They're coming down hard. At this point, their actions are going to round them in jail. At this point, their actions are going to a point where now they're going to be incarcerated.
So here's what I found interesting. So Anita Sarkeesian basically claimed that because Clinton lost the election, that now we're still living in a white supremacist.
Keep saying that and keep looking like a fucking dildo that she is. I mean, keep looking like a dumb dick. I mean, she's not winning anything. Just stop. Now I think if she goes that retarded, she's going to start losing her own weird base. Is going to start realizing, this is kind of too much. And it's too
I think the
weird.
only people who really will look at her stuff now is either her extreme base or people like us or like different peasants who look at it and laugh. Like Sargon does.
Yeah, it's a joke now. Like she said, she's in mourning after the election. Like, sweetie, okay, no one's in mourning for presidents being lost. They're not that important. Relax.
My cousin is a gay man, and at first he's like, I'm worried about what Trump might do, and I said, I checked, he's not that against it. He goes, oh, okay, I just hope that it isn't just a ploy. He was like, he was more reasonable than half these people, and most of these people don't have to worry about shit. My cousin's a gay man.
So your cousin didn't follow anything, didn't research Trump's history. See, that's the thing I have an issue.
But when I brought up his history, I showed him this. He was rational enough to go, oh, I see that.
See, here's the problem. People, I think, aren't.
They're ideologues.
In the age of mass research in a second, people aren't still doing it. A lot.
Skimming. You literally go the first response you get on Google.
Yeah, he's not. Trump is not anti-gay. He's not even a Republican at this point. He's just Trump. I won't even. He's not. He's just Trump. He's in Trump land. You know.
You can't define me. I'm not a Republican.
Yes, he's. He did back up why he has a clown car to choose from. Like his VP is a pretty clownish guy.
Yeah.
But he did actually have a good answer on 60 Minutes. He said that's the only people that work here, and that's true. That's reality. So the bigger question often comes in now: are presidents? If a president has a vastly opposed opinion to the common culture that you find in Washington, D.C., are you assertive enough to be the boss? See, a problem is a lot of presidents we've had in the past, they defer. They may be good people like Obama or Bush, but they cucked in. I mean, Bush clearly in his entire career cucked in to Dick Cheney. He's just like, I don't know anything. Dick Cheney, here, do everything you want. They just put crap on his desk and said, sign it. You know, and that's what people were concerned about with Hillary. When her illness came up, a lot of people who aren't racist had an idea that, oh, what if Hillary is so far fucking gone in the executive position, some lobbyist comes in and slaps paper down on her desk and says, sign this, do this. And she's just like, okay. You know, like that would be a big problem. Okay, if you're not up on your, yeah. No, like, okay, remember that king from, what is it, Lord of the Rings, was it part 2 or 3? Remember that king who was like frozen and like the guy who played Chucky was like keeping him in like a trance?
Oh, you're about to
and like Gandalf is like, get out of here. And he's like, your power is nothing, Gandalf. That's like Hillary, people imagine. I mean, did you see her the other day? She did that speech. She looks like a zombie, literally.
Dude, speaking of like, you're talking about.
She looked like Emperor Palpatine.
Hey, dude.
She looked like Emperor Palpatine after a bad meth binge.
Hey, did you get out? He's the penguin.
Yes, he is. The penguin. Danny DeVito. Yeah, it's the penguin, and I mean that's the problem. Is like what God Sod was saying is right. He's like, dude, don't like generalize Trump supporters. Like a lot of them were voting on a single issue.
Oh God! Someone actually did put a poster. Oh wow, it does work. You're right. It does really work.
What works?
I'll show you. You're right about the Emperor thing.
Yeah, Hillary looks like Emperor Palpatine today. No, not that one, dude. Look at how. Look up right now what she looked like at her most recent speech. Damn it!
It does.
God damn it! Actually, people are calling her the Borg Queen, and we're calling Donald Trump the Ferengi.
That makes more sense. Wait, I'm gonna see Borg.
She's Borg Queen, and then Donald Trump is Ferengi. He's building a space wall.
You're right. Someone said Borg Queen.
And then look up Donald Trump Ferengi. He is totally a Ferengi. If there's just one character you can connect.
Oh, I want to see Trump. I don't know how to spell Ferengi. I can't remember how to spell Ferengi. I'll look it up in a second. I'll hold it up in a minute. But that's hilarious.
Trump's a Ferengi. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were single issue voters.
Oh, I remember what it was. I know how to find Ferengi. Quark. That's what I'm thinking of. Quark is the guy who. Quark's a Ferengi. Oh, that's how you spell Ferengi. Dude, that's the funny thing is I listen to the American Peasants and they say that they make a lot of Star Trek references, but like they said that like the white the fuck was it called that the I mean the DC is full of nothing but Ferengi. You're right. You're right. Oh my god! I'll share with the class. I got to share with the class.
It's so accurate. It's so accurate, dude. Trump for Grand Nagus.
I mean,
Trump's a Ferengi.
it does work.
I think there was an article the other day where they're like the news was whining that Trump ate his dinner wrong.
I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save this for the thumbnail.
Okay. There's something I was reading. Trump like got criticized because he ate dinner wrong. How do you eat dinner wrong?
You used the wrong fork. You didn't use a shrimp fork.
How is that an actual news story? He ate dinner wrong?
I have fucking no idea. People are weird.
He ate dinner wrong. They're now mad at his daughter that she used the 60 Minutes interview to market her expensive bracelet she sells. I'm like, that's actually kind of smart. If his family has that kind of smarts that they can apply to the country, fucking encourage that. Stop being a fucking moron. That's the thing is, Milo is right that the left wing, the extreme left wing is really focused on like hurt feelings versus like practical actions and facts.
They're also
Like
war hawks now. They've allowed them to become war hawks.
Right. They become like Bushite Republicans. They become like yeah, they're now like, yeah, we need to bomb Russia and China and like in like the Middle East or something.
Well, one thing I like about Trump is he's saying no. We need to work with them. We need to get it.
Yeah, he's now like some like anti-war hippie.
No,
Trump's like a fucking anti-war hippie with his comb over his like, tied in a ponytail. He has like, like a tie-dye t-shirt on.
no, he's more like Nixon. The fact, at least before Nixon,
Right.
Nixon went to China and basically said, "Hey, let's chill the fuck out." And they're like, "You're right, Nixon. We'll chill the fuck out." And I think that's what's going on. I think what needs to happen.
We can hope. I don't put my money with him. I don't put my money against him. I will find out in a year where the direction is going.
And I don't put your money with him because.
No, you're absolutely right that he's coming on, and he's also been that way forever. He's not a hawk. He's definitely critical of it.
He did say he was against the war in Iraq, which
he was against the war in Iraq for years. Yep. He was critical of it from the get-go. He was critical of all the intervention in Afghanistan even. He's just one of those people, like which is good. And a lot of people, like I said, are single issue voters. They kind of wrote off the other stuff and said, hey, even though there's a lot of rhetoric about immigration and crap, which I always said, looking at Trump, they took him out of context about that, actually. Like, you can say, like, the stuff, even on when he was kind of faking and riling up the crowd, he said stuff about immigration you can say you disagree with. You can't say it's racist. He didn't say all Mexicans were rapists. He said that he suspects Mexico only sends like it's worse.
Yes, but
he didn't say everyone running over the border was one, though. They totally took him out of context. He was saying like the government happens to send bad guys over in the whole horde.
Which is a bad thing to say, and that's a bad thing.
You can say it's wrong because there's no research that actually occurs in general with movement across the border. But you don't need to say it's fucking racist. He didn't say like, oh, the Mexicans are inferior. They took the rapist part of context. They said Trump said Mexicans are rapists. He never actually said that.
It's crazy is there was a video by the Young Turks. I didn't even check it out, but he said, "Oh, he appoints an Islamophobe." I mean, what's wrong with being kind of wary of Islam?
Wait, what do you mean? He never. What Islamophobe did he appoint? He's so far appointed. His national security advisor is a Democrat, ex-military Democrat, pro-choice, anti-torture. What the fuck are they on?
It sounds like Jesse Ventura.
I guess. I think they actually know each other on a personal level.
He wants Snowden as the head of the FBI.
Who wants Snowden as the
Um,
head of the FBI?
Trump. Trump wants Snowden.
Trump wants Snowden the head of the FBI?
Yeah,
Was he joking? Was he saying that in a joke way or what?
I saw it as a title. On but that actually would be interesting to have him as a thing as an.
I don't know if Snowden ever wanted to be in the FBI. I'll tell you this, left wing. If Trump wants to really throw a shit sandwich in their dinner, he will pardon Julian Assange, Snowden, and Chelsea Manning. That's what I'm saying. Don't put all your money, because if he does something very like populist like that next year, which is a very easy thing, you can't approve a lot of legislation that has to do with financing or anything, but the president can pardon. Like if he's just sitting there's like, I can't do anything else right now, but I'm just going to pardon to get like popularity up, or just to basically take a dump in the news's face. I mean, the man's not above that. He is kind of like, he is crazy, and he definitely is vindictive. So, and I mean, the media is kind of become his enemy. So I wouldn't piss him off. He might just take a dump on you and say like, oh, I'm going to pardon all these like whistleblowers, and I'm going to be the big hero, and then you're going to look like a bunch of dumb shits. Like I wouldn't do that. You should just be humble right now. Wait for him to fuck up, or not, and then make action. You're right. These people don't read The Art of War. They read too much in their own bullshit. They don't read about tactics. These people, they're all whiners.
It's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it's like like I said, Milo's right. They're too obsessed with like hurt feelings. They're not like interested in like practical reason anymore.
A lot of their stuff is become very incestuous. They're very much about keeping it in the family for ideology. They want to keep the ideology restricted. They don't want you to look. It's very much 1984. If you look, that's double plus on good. The thing is, when you get because as we know, when you have incest, you tend to get things like mental instability and craziness and fucked up people, and that's what you. And when you have, I'm talking about in a political sense, you have there's not been a lot of new blood injected, and that when you've had new blood try to come in, like with Bernie, or with a more rational lefts, or some of the older blood that was good, trying to express itself.
Kennedy's,
the Kenny types, the Sanders. I don't agree with everything he says, but what he was saying is like.
He's a populist, yeah.
He wants things to be better. His big thing.
Right.
He's very much for the working class and the middle class. What people liked him because he was saying.
And he's honest, and he keeps his ethics, and he has integrity.
And not to mention, he was one of the guys marching with MLK. So it's like he says yes.
Yeah, he goes back to the old days.
Yeah,
ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. That type.
He's what you think of as a true, honest, like
right.
If social justice warrior wasn't a pejorative, that's if you heard the word social justice warrior and you knew it wasn't a pejorative as it was now, like as talking about the cry bullies, you would think MLK or Bernie Sanders. These are people who are like warriors, but they're fighting for the socio-economic justice that everyone deserves. And that's what's sad is that these people because that word has become bad. I one time said that's.
Well, Bernie can't even be there also because I guess he was up against a woman, and it showed that the left wing is predominantly dominated by these people that literally only looked at Hillary Clinton's only marketable skill as being a woman. Everything else was completely down the toilet with that person. I mean, I really think they were into her because they're like, this is a woman, it's her turn. And it's like that they had this alternative that was far more, he had energy and he had his integrity and ethics, and he was honest and straightforward, whether you agreed with him or not. But it's like I think they really went with her because I'm sorry. So was she just a woman? Because what else about her is interesting?
Well, that's a lot of the SJWs when they wanted, like, oh, it's a woman,
That's what I'm saying. They're killing the whole fucking thing with that.
You know what works great? It would have been great if they wanted to get a good woman to run. The best, you know what would have been better? Even though she's the first lady, Michelle Obama would have been a lot better because she's a lot more likable as a person. She's a
Michelle Obama, right? I don't know if Michelle Obama.
I know, but I'm saying as a kind of figurehead, she's a
Right.
lot more.
She's not, being investigated by the FBI every other day.
She reaches out to people. She's a lot
Sure,
more.
sure. She would definitely be far more a better alternative.
Yeah, it's funny. The Republic, a lot of the conservatives want to say that Obama's worst president ever. He's leaving.
No, absolutely not.
I know, but he's leaving uh, office with likely with nearly without like a 55% approval rating, where like Bush left like with like what like a 20%. So it would
Oh yeah, he
be
had a horrible approval rating. I'll say this: he's not the worst president, not a good one.
not great, but not
He's
good.
leaving right now. He's not said anything about these protests, which I find highly weird. I mean, they're really bad. The party's burning down. He just doesn't care. He's just like, I'm leaving. I mean, the man didn't, he doesn't care about the alternative to the Republican Party, just the Democratic Party. The man's just like, whatever, But I
Yeah,
mean, you couldn't shut him up when you had a bunch of these cases with the black people getting shot. And I mean, with the Trayvon Martin thing, that was just horrible. He came out and immediately said, like, oh, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. This is before the trial.
yeah.
And he looked divisive, and he was. That's what gave Trump such a rise. Was he looked like I know he was saying it just for politics, but it looked so stupid. It's like you don't know the case here. You're alienating middle working, a lot of like white Democrat working class males saying that shit. I mean,
That's also the big problem with people like Lacey Green, or any kind of But I think that's one of the things that might have been why Trump won is because a lot of these people, the anti-white male sentiment from the left drove them um, to
the right wing to Trump because Trump, remember, he's not a Republican. He's Trump.
yeah,
They forgot that strategy that
it's the
you
same.
had a Democratic woman versus just this independent guy.
It's the reason why you have Mexicans and Salvadorians voting for Democrats because despite the fact they are conservative, they are driven towards the left because the left is not anti, immigration. Whereas you have the established groups like of Chicanos like Cubans are extremely Republican.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of reasons to that. I don't actually think Republicans are like I think there's a segment of them that are anti-immigration, and then you have another large segment that isn't. They have concerns about it. I don't know. There's different opinions.
The problem is the Republican base. It's the big thing they like to scream about. Oh, they're taking jobs. Like, no, they're not.
See, that's one segment. Then you have another segment that's concerned about like the Muslim issue with the refugees.
The problem is that those who talk about immigration of like Hispanics get so much fucking airtime. The other big ones are the ones against like Syrians, and I have no problem with allowing certain, but I don't like the fact that they're allowing people in that they haven't been vetted. Some of these people are.
Well, also it depends how many you're gonna. Right now they currently vet. From what I read, they have a strict vetting process. The thing that Hillary was saying was like she wants 65,000 like right in 1 year. And people have a problem with now you're importing a Middle Eastern country that you bombed into this country.
And the problem is also a lot of them don't want. A lot of it's been pointed out, and this was like a thing is that when you have a group like for the big thing is the Chinese come over and they will isolate for like that generation, the generation that comes in,
Yeah.
unless they're a little more educated and they're like, okay, I understand this thing and I'm going to move over. They tend to set up their own communities. They'll do stuff like start having language stuff, but um, within the first 1 or 2 generations, they tend to integrate. The big problem with when it comes to this with Arab immigrants to an area, they don't tend to
Assimilate, you mean?
they don't assimilate very well.
We don't see it happening in Europe. There's a lot of, I'll tell you, there's some reasons I get on that.
For Muslims, there are a group like the Turks do that pretty decently. They say that one of the big groups in like Germany that does not want to see like immigration.
Well, because it's too much.
No. One of the groups that doesn't is the Turks. The Turks that are like 2 generations in don't want to see Arabs in there. They're Muslim too. But the thing is, Turks and Arabs have had a long, bloody history. It's I mean the Turks did some fucked up ships. Both the Greeks, the Armenians, and the Arabs. And in fact, in many ways, the biggest anti-Arab sentiment is not from native Germans, but from actual assimilated Turks.
Yeah, I've kind of went around. I've kind of attacked this issue here from different angles. The issue, I'm not like zero. There's people who are for zero immigration, and then you have the other side that's for open borders.
Right.
You got to kind of find your middle. Like you can't be like, okay, no immigrants. Obviously, that's that. Where would we be, right? And then open borders, yes. That now there's two practical issues why open borders I know doesn't work. Resources.
Look at Germany.
Our government and public service can only withstand a certain amount per time or for a time period of tons of people. So this has nothing to do with, oh, well, fuck those people. It has to do with now, you're asking for a system to hold human beings, the police, the fire department, public health services, sanitation, parks. They can't. They will explode if you just overload them with people.
Well, it's the problem.
I mean, currently, right now, we don't have enough cops that can even take care of us in LA.
Yeah, and
that's always been a problem.
Well, back to what you're saying, the advantage of it coming in slowly is it allows it to slowly disperse.
Right.
The problem is, it basically, if you get a pour in, it gets concentrated, allowing it to disperse slowly.
And then that group can assimilate and move in. And then, because if you have this group, like I've talked to some Hispanics, they live in their group. They've moved on. They're changed. And then all of a sudden, this new group piles on before they're going on, and they're like all pissed off at this group.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There is waiting times. I know for all immigration from every country, from China to Mexico to Europe, there's when you want to apply for a visa or something, there's like if you want to apply for a green card, everyone's like on a wait list or something. So basically, it's like getting on the ride. It's kind of like, imagine like, okay, you're running an amusement park. You can't shove everybody on the cart, in one hit.
Right.
The issue that people got concerned about recently that they saw in Europe about Muslims. Muslim immigration in Europe hasn't worked out. Now, there's two ways I attack that issue. I said, there's one way to look at it, that the United States, we don't have such lenient, weirdo, wacko laws like Europe has.
Yeah.
I mean, in Europe, like they bring in all these people from the Middle East, and they immediately are able to like go on $2,000 a day of welfare.
Yes.
And then they have them like in Sweden, like living on the street in a tent. And it's like, okay, that's going to cripple the whole place. I can totally understand why it's not working out now. I mean, they number one flooded the whole place, and then they said, okay, well now we're going to give you money, and then now these people have no incentive to work. So it's like it's a whole drain on the resources. So, but we don't have that here. So with the refugees we take in here, I don't know if it's going to be duplicated like it is out in Europe with the problems they're having. Though we're not taking in the amount they are. They've already, like, Germany took in like 500,000.
Oh yeah, I forget who it was. I was there's a guy called Crowden T. He's a he does like commentary from Germany. He's German. He can speak English, and he does a lot of stuff towards he kind of translates what's going on in Germany and Europe into English and explains kind of what's going on. And he's really informed. He did a whole thing where he's talking about the I forget what the German chancellor's name is, but she basically said
Angela Merkel. She's a total loon.
Merkel, yeah, Merkel. So you said Merkel.
She's another ugly woman who runs a country. She's pretty damn ugly. I think getting oral from her, you'd be confused if you're doing anal sex.
Oh yeah. So Merkel basically told any country that wasn't allowing a large amount of Arabs, and basically that they were being
like meaners. She's crazy.
It was their duty to
Merkel
do that.
time. Yeah, Merkel. Yeah, that's why they have Brexit. And like Sargon said, if you listen to his channel, he's reporting about how all these really radical right-wing movements are all taking hold. The France is gonna go way right. Merkel's done. Her career is just in the depths.
Did you say Nazis bucks again?
I don't think so, because no one's super poor there. It's not going to happen. Nazi Germany only worked once with a population of people that were like looking at 80% unemployment.
Well, there are also laws.
People were burning money in Germany for fire. That's called rock bottom. If you had a situation. What are you doing? Making a little reef?
I'm a Twitter person. Well, that's a flower thing, anyway. No, but
they have like a little.
Anyway, the big thing was, and again going back to Germany, was that there are also laws that prevent like Nazism from happening. Nazism is a very special kind of like type of treason that's considered.
We don't have that here. It's called infringing on my freedom. I mean, you can be a Nazi here.
Right, but there's one that Nazism. They did that back. They started that when they created the Second Republic to prevent the rise of like the Fourth Reich.
Yeah, I don't know, because it looks like now, like anyone who says anything or reads anything Nazi-like, they kind of just shun away. I think that's something that sets a bad precedent. It's like,
of course,
if you don't want Nazis, you don't make your country go 80% unemployed. Okay, the reason why the Middle East is so fucking goddamn gone is because they're fucking poor. Africa is fucking gone. You can, see armies of warlords marching around there, murdering mass populations because they're fucking poor.
I know.
I mean, poverty leads to a lot of shit. When you have 80%, when you're burning your currency for warmth, that human being is bound to do bad shit.
Of course, I mean, you'll do that.
And were all the Nazis, the Nazis, most of those soldiers are just happy they got a job. It's just a big bribe off. They didn't care what they were tasked with doing. They just cared that they got a job. But then again, if you also don't want Nazis around you, the whole banter, the whole little wacko banter the left goes on about guns isn't very helpful.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, the first thing Hitler outlawed was shotguns. How the fuck does some man do How the fuck does some guy that gets in the power, like one of the first things he does is says you can't have a fucking shotgun.
Shotguns are fucking useful as hell.
Well, he didn't want that because he knew he didn't want like people shooting at soldiers. People were like, well, but the army won't care. They'll just plow through him. Like, no, they don't want to be shot at. No one wants to be
Shotguns
fucking
are
shot at.
extremely useful.
I own a bunch of guns. I
own
wouldn't
one.
want to be shot at. I would not dream of getting into a firefight.
I
I mean,
I put my gun, but shotguns are great for close range. You also have slugs, which are really nice.
right. It shoots 3 different types of ammunition: birdshot, buckshot, slug.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a versatile gun, and you can almost place it in anyone's hand, and they don't need much practice with it, and they can hit pretty well.
There's some new. I forget what it was called. There was a shotgun there's an auto shotgun that exists, and it has a grenade, mini grenade you can fire it, and it fits the standard shotgun round. So if you did now, you can only cock your gun and like fire. You can turn your shotgun into basically a mini grenade launcher.
Interesting. I like that. I saw a new shotgun now. They have carry has 15 rounds,
Nice.
where it has two loading chambers. And you just code them in here, and you can just kind of move to each one. It's got 2 magazines, 2 internal magazines.
It sounds a lot like the ones you use for hunt.
Check it out. It's the Kel-Tec 12 gauge. You can look it up.
You know what's pretty badass is the under over shotgun. Those are pretty badass.
Under and over, I have a side-by-side double barrel. I'm gonna probably sell that off. Well, no, I gave it to my parents. They'll have a side-by-side.
I prefer the standard single barrel, but with either a cock. I've actually always wanted to try out a semi-auto shot.
Semi-automatic shotguns like the SPAS 12.
Yeah.
That's the shotgun it was used in Terminator. You can look it up, the SPAS 12. It's Italian.
No, but remember because he kept cocking the thing. It's liver action.
No, that was the second one. Go right now. First, Terminator 1, SPAS 12. He had an automatic. It was a semi-automatic shotgun.
Some of them actually are really bad. I'm looking at some of the military ones that are pretty kick-ass. I'll show you this one. I'll share. Like that one looks freaking beautiful.
Yeah, that looks like a Remington.
That's the one you're talking about. This is the one they used.
Yeah. Which one? What went? Oh, that was Kyle used that. Now look up SPAS 12.
How do you spell it?
No, SPAZ 12. SPAS 12.
Nope.
SPAS 12.
Can you spell it again?
SPAZ. Shotgun. There we are. That's what he used in the first Terminator. Arnold's character in Terminator.
I never got what the idea.
It's an automatic shotgun.
That doesn't really seem to work for me because that thing, if you try to cock it, you don't. There's no butt to absorb the.
You don't cock that.
I'm sorry, fire it. No.
It just cycles.
I think it was there's an automatic shotgun. No, that's the one I'm looking for.
Yes, I've seen that with the drum.
Yeah. I forget what it's called. It's really. Yeah, here. Automatic shotgun. The AA-12. That's what it was. That's it. Yeah, AA-12s are nuts. Yeah, this is the one that I like. It's this one they saw. That's a shotgun. That thing is nuts. I don't even know how you actually use that thing. I mean, if you, that's gonna take out a shit ton of people with just and those things are set up to have a. Actually, that was also in what's it called? It was also in. Fuck, what's it called? In what was that movie called with Stallone? Uh, Expendables. Terry Crews had the shotgun like that.
Yeah, Terry Crews had pretty good. Dang.
So I'm getting tired. So you want to call it a night?
I think that's good. I think we talked about a lot.
All right. So everyone, thank you for watching. Remember, I'm Dan.
And I'm Chris, and we enjoyed having you here.
Yes, and check out our channel and subscribe here, and check out the links to our main channel, Random Media Guys here, and there'll be one right above my head for our podcast playlist. So check that out too, and have a wonderful night.
Have a wonderful night. We enjoyed.
Or day, depending on when you're watching this.
Yeah, our day. Everyone was really cool. It was fun.
Right. And bye.